America and the world. This is Radio Free Market, and I am your host, Michael McKay. We are behind the lines of socialism, my friends, and Radio Free Market is the voice of free people and free markets. Folks, this is a live call-in show today, and our topic is How Capitalism Saved America with Dr. Thomas DiLorenzo. Welcome, Tom.
Hello there.
I'm glad you could be with us today.
I'm pleased to be here.
Good. So next I would like to welcome our special commentator for us today, Mr. Drew Hjelm. Hello, Drew.
Hello.
Good. So let me also say hello to some of our regular listeners who we've had recent interactions with. I want to say hello to Oscar from Southern California and Leo from Boston and Hank from Chicago. I greatly appreciate all of your participation and how, in your own ways, you're standing up for freedom. So to introduce this show, first let me say again that this is a live call-in show, so please be ready to call in with your questions at 1-800-313-9443. Let me repeat that for you. That's 1-800-313-9443. I mentioned that our special commentator for today is Mr. Drew Hjelm. Now, Drew is a student at the University of Iowa, but he has also spent 6 years in the U.S. military and is widely read in Austrian Economics and History and is a 2010 graduate of Mises University. This show was basically Drew's idea, and he did much of the heavy lifting in preparing for this show. So let's get started. Now, again, our topic today is How Capitalism Saved America, and it's based on the excellent book by Dr. DiLorenzo. Tom is a professor of economics at Loyola University in Maryland and is a pre-eminent economic historian and has written several other books, including The Real Lincoln, Hamilton's Curse, and today's topic, How Capitalism Saved America. So go ahead, Drew. I'm giving the microphone over to you.
Hello. Well, I just wanted to start out here near the beginning of American history with the Pilgrims. Conventional history teaches us that the Pilgrims had tough times when they first arrived in Massachusetts. As you pointed out in your book, Tom, William Bradford, governor of Plymouth Colony, noted that when their crops failed, some settlers sold themselves into slavery with the local Indian tribes so they could eat. And one man gathering shellfish was so weak from malnourishment that he got stuck in the mud and died. So what was the primary cause for all these people becoming so destitute, and how was the problem fixed?
Well, basically, they adopted agricultural socialism as their system originally, where they all owed some money to the Mayflower Company, for example, for bringing them to America, and so they would farm the land, and everything would go into a common pool, and then once the Mayflower Company was paid, everyone would split equally whatever was left. And that's, essentially sort of socialist agriculture. That's why that's how the Russians turned the breadbasket of Europe, the Ukraine, into massive starvation in the early 20th century. And that's how every socialist country around the world that has practiced collectivized agriculture has ruined their agriculture. And fortunately for the American Pilgrims, they figured out what the problem was. And so they changed the system, and they gave each family their own individual plot, and they created incentives. And so the reason I write about that in my book is that you cannot have capitalism without private property, and I think it's a nice, interesting little example of how one of the primary features of capitalism, private property, literally saved the Pilgrims from starvation.
Was there any debate about this, Tom? I mean, when they were already starving and Governor Bradford decided to allocate to them different land that they were then responsible to till. We're going to run into our break here, unfortunately, so we're going to have to wait until after the break for you to answer this question. Okay. So I apologize in advance on that, but please stay with us, folks. This is Radio Free Market, and we're talking with Dr. Thomas DiLorenzo on how capitalism saved America. So we'll be back in just a minute. Please stay with us.